Hey guys, it's me, Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. How are you doing today? Today we're going to talk about our favorite topics and our favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a cool topic for ourselves today, so let's literally dive right on into it. What is our cool topic for today? Our cool topic for today is selling our warranties, extended warranties, maintenance agreements, service agreements, repair agreements, replacement agreements. Are they a scam? Are they something that you shouldn't get? Or are they something that you should get? I'm just going to tell you guys, I've been in sales for a long time, and I'm going to tell you what, I've sold a lot of things, and a lot of companies I've worked with, they are going to make sure that, hey, they're going to offer some type of service agreement or a warranty on a product or a service, and the reason being is so they can cover their ass. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Your manufacturers give you what they call a limited warranty, and sometimes it can be a full warranty up to 6 months to a year, and then after that it's probably going to break, because see, a lot of things don't break generally during the first 90 days, first 6 months, the first 9 months, first year. Generally they break right after the warranty, and the reason why is either you're using the merchandise, you're using the things that you've purchased. Some things need to have maintenance done on them. I'm saying, if you have a tractor, I bought one, and man, see, like every year I got to go get some maintenance work done on it, and I just need some updates and some tune-ups and stuff. And man, it's a pain in the hiney, because see, they never even offered me a service agreement or warranty, but I've had it for like 5 years. But every time I go there, I get mad and frustrated, because man, I got to spend a lot of money out of my pocket. Now, you have a lot of things that are man-made, woman-made, AI-made. They're made not to last forever. And things, for some reason, back in the day, I remember washers and dryers, man, they used to last forever. Now, your manufacturer will give you about a year warranty on it, and then after that, it's like, dang, something's wrong, because see, they have all these high-tech electronics that are built into it. So are warranties a scam? Well, I guess, for some people, they say they're a scam because maybe they've never used it, they bought them, and they never had to use it. Or when they bought the service agreement, they only got a 1 year, or 2 year, or a 5 year, or a 3 year warranty, and they never used the guarantee. So they felt like, well, man, I felt like I was taken advantage of. And you've always got some people, in their family, don't ever buy that warranty, don't ever sign a contract, and so forth, which, I understand. And see, here's the key to success, guys. I don't buy service agreements and warranties on everything. I weigh the facts. Now, in the past, I bought some inexpensive computers, some electronics that were, a couple, $200 or $300, $400. And man, I broke them. And I'm telling you what, I had this one computer. I had a mouse that I brought with me, and I was talking to a customer, and I closed the lid on my computer, and I cracked the screen. Now, I only paid like about $300, maybe $350, and I didn't buy any service agreement because I said, it's kind of cheap, and I only had it for less than a year, and it had all my pertinent information, all the stuff that I needed, and daggone it if it didn't crack the screen. Now, I was upset, so I took it to one of them repair shops, and man, they were glad to see me. They had a whole lot of people in there with cell phones and other electronics, and they were like, hey, how are you doing today? And then they told me how much. I said, well, how much you gonna cost to fix this monitor, this beautiful screen, so I can get a brand new one? And it was like $250. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it, because see, I was kind of thinking, well, I was kind of being a little bit cheap. I didn't want to spend any extra money. And like I said, sometimes you use your warranties and sometimes you don't. But man, sometimes accidents happen, and some warranties, they don't cover accidents, but there are some warranties and service agreements that do. So you need to ask good questions about what your warranties and your service agreements offer. Now, if you're buying a power sport equipment, a Sea-Doo, if you're buying a boat, if you're buying a motorcycle, if you're buying a car, if you're buying a truck, if you're buying something that needs to get maintenance and you don't buy a service agreement on it, dang, you're going to go, oh crap, it costs, how much does it cost to have the maintenance done on it? And what they'll do a lot of times is, if you're lucky, you'll be able to buy a nice car, but they can also offer you a guarantee, a service agreement, and a warranty. But it kind of like makes sure that you keep coming back to the same location, the same dealership. And what they'll do is they'll offer your service agreement and put it in your payment. They'll go ahead and add it into your payment. And I did it on many of my cars, and it would take care of the maintenance. So I would go out there, every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, and I'd get the maintenance done on it. And then eventually your tires, you need new tires, and then you need this and you'll need that. And then sometimes people will buy these warranties and service agreements over the phone, where these companies will call and say, hey, well, you don't have any warranty. You're about ready to come out of your warranty from the manufacturer. We can cover your equipment. Now, my best friend, he bought a warranty, and man, it saved him. He only had it for like a year, and the warranty had been paying into it, which, it was about about $75 to $100 a month. And it was a good investment because he uses, vehicle for work and, for travel and so forth. And when he went, his transmission went out, and it cost almost $4,000. And so he really made out like a bandit. He said, man, that was the best warranty service agreement I've ever made, because he didn't have the money at the time. And there's some products and services, remember, not everything is covered under a warranty or service agreement. So don't feel as though, hey, man, everything is covered, because you got just basic maintenance on some stuff. You got seals, you got these different things that are a part of equipment that, wear out, and it's called wear and tear. And those things generally aren't covered, but you need to ask if they are covered, and ask, you want to make sure that when you're paying for service agreements and warranties, that you get the best service that you can. Now, is it a ripoff? For some people, it is a ripoff. Like I said, I sold furniture for a long time, and if you got recliners or anything that's got electronics in them, man, eventually they're going to be sitting there and it ain't going to work, and you'll be like, dang, man, what happened? Or maybe you buy a refrigerator, you buy a stove, and after a couple of years it goes out on you, and you're like, man, I need to get somebody to look at this. And then they charge you $120 to go knock, and the next thing you know, you're paying out of your pocket, and you're going, dang, how much? And then you got to pay for the work that's done on it. And when I sold furniture, man, I'll tell you, we sold repair agreements, replacement agreements. We sold fabric protection, leather care, scratch care. I mean, we sold all kinds of maintenance. And when I sold electronics back in the day, man, on every product and every service that I sold, we were mandatory to sell those services, because see, what happens is customers, if they don't buy a warranty and you don't offer those service agreements and those maintenance agreements, they'll come back to your place and they'll yell and scream and call you names. You sold me a piece of garbage. You told me this thing was good and all that. Never tell people that things are going to last. You got to make sure that when you do sell warranties and service agreements, that you pepper it in through your presentation. You don't wait to the last minute, because people will think you're trying to rip them off. Is it a rip off to buy warranties? No, it's not. But sometimes, I guess, if you've got people who lie to you, that are unscrupulous, they tell you things that are covered and they're not covered. Now, those kind of people, they're going to get theirs in the end. I can just tell you that right now. And I worked with this great company called McDuff Electronics back in the day, man. We sold all kinds of high-end electronics. And back then, back in the 90s, they were really, really expensive. So we really did have to offer those service agreements, those warranties, because they only come, like I said, with 90 days and maybe 1 year on parts. And after that, it was over. And then people will come back and they'd be frustrated, because all those moving parts, all those electronics that are built inside of these pieces of equipment. And now we had to offer the service, and we got money from it. We made money, as salespeople, because, if you don't offer it, you're not going to make those extra money. And a lot of times people work on commission. Now, some of these companies, that are big box stores that sell, refrigerators, ovens, stoves, just washing machines, and all those great other products, they'll offer you a warranty. They'll offer you a service agreement. And I've seen and I heard from some people where they felt like they had been taken advantage of, because they had to have it looked at 2 or 3 times to be able to, to be able to get a claim to get a replacement on it. Because if you buy the service, you make sure that you ask those questions. Well, is it going to cover repairs and replacements? And when will it be replaced if it needs to be repaired multiple times? Also, some things aren't covered, like, different things that are inside of equipment that you use, those water filters, and sometimes they are. And I've been in sales for a long time, guys, so I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and the warts and all. And I've sold things, and I've had people try to sell me phones, and I've had so many phones, they broke, they had cracks. And this one right now, I got an Apple, it's my very first one, and it cost me a whole lot of money. I'm like, what's so great about these phones? And I don't know, but I bought one anyway. And what I ended up finding out is, they didn't offer me a warranty. And I said, well, do you offer a warranty? They said, yes, it's only like $15 a month. And I had to scratch my head because the phone was like $800, almost $900. And then I was like, okay, well, man, I need to get that because, they didn't ask me. They didn't even tell me. I'm like, okay. I guess because sometimes people are afraid to offer additional services because stuff is expensive, or they haven't been trained on how to say, did you want to go ahead and go with that? By the way, in the beginning, like I said, when I sell equipment, electronics, houses, I always tell my customers, you may want to consider getting some type of a service agreement. And the reason why, especially on a home, you've got your HVAC, your plumbing, you got your electrical services, you've got all these things that can be covered under your warranty with a service agreement. And I didn't say it was cheap because, it's not. It can cost you quite a few dollars. But if you have somebody come out to your house, because my mom and dad, I helped them buy a house, and after the first 6 months, their HVAC started making some noise. HVAC was only 3 years old, but it was making some noise and it wasn't working properly. And they came out there, and my mom and dad were so happy. Then the next thing, they had an issue with a couple of other things, their dishwasher. So, it's all about perception and your value. And like I said, I can't afford to spend $300 or $400 or $500 to $1,000 just to have somebody come out and fix my stuff. So I do believe in some warranties and service agreements and maintenance agreements and repair agreements and replacement agreements because I don't trust them on everything. And I don't believe that they're a ripoff, but like I said, sometimes you got to weigh the cost. How much is it? And when you go to some of these box stores, they'll sell you, a microwave oven, and it only costs you about $50 to $100, and your warranty's like $30. And you're like, what? And I've had some that I bought that broke. They just broke, man. After a year, I'm like, God dang, I could have spent a little bit more and got a brand new one. I had a fan that I loved. I had a really good fan for 8 years, man. It worked so good, and it had a good, I had a 1-year warranty on it, and that was it. And then after about 8 years, it got kind of wore out because I use that sucker every single day. So I went to the stores and I went to go buy a new one, and I ended up within less than a year having to replace it. I'm like, what happened, man? The other one lasted me for 8 years, and the warranty on that little dude was about $25-$30, and I didn't see the value in it. Well, guess what? I had to buy another one, and then another one. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't see the perceived value. Again, you have to weigh the value, because sometimes, yeah, they can, I guess, if in your mind it's a ripoff if you don't use them. But man, when you got them, ooh, you're a happy camper. You're so happy, because that way, at least they'll take care of most of whatever needs to be repaired. And they do have replacement guarantees and warranties and service agreements that will replace it, not with old technology, but with brand new technology, because things change so fast. I had one of these people ask me, my customers, they don't listen. They don't want to get the warranties because, see, a lot of times customers, or should I say salespeople, they're not sold. Now that means if you sell warranties or service agreements and you have the capability and you buy the same products that they do, buy the warranty, because what it does is it gives you a little bit of skin in the game, and you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, man, I bought a warranty. And the key to success, guys, is sometimes it's hard to sell something you don't believe in. So if you're out there selling warranties and service agreements, agreements, please take the time to invest in your own products and your own services, because you don't want to tell customers it's good. It's like buying insurance, telling your customer you need to buy some insurance and you don't have none. Okay, I'm just saying, guys, today my name is Gary Lee Stanley. I am your sales guy, and today we had a wonderful conversation about, are warranties a ripoff? Well, it depends on who you are. To me, I don't believe they are. I don't believe all warranties are things that I'm going to purchase, but I highly recommend you think about it. If you've got to sell warranties and service agreements, you need to learn how to have that conversation. Sprinkle that information. By the way, this is a great product. It comes with a limited 90-day, 1-year parts, and that's it. So we offer, for your peace of mind, a 2-year, a 3-year, or 5 years, and these are the prices, and this covers this, this, and this. You got to break it down for them. It'll cover this, this, and this, and this, and it'll give you a peace of mind, because it is man-made, woman-made, AI-made, and the worst thing we can do is replace it for you with what? New technology. All right, guys, get out there and sell something, but if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. And buying warranties, can they be a ripoff? I guess so for some people, but you got to weigh the price. Okay? All right.